In this video, I'm going to compare between Mount Pleasant BTO and Bishan BTO that are scheduled to be launched this October. You might wonder, why am I comparing these two? Well, because they are actually excellent. Both are in highly desirable, mature or city fringe locations, have great school access and promise of high future appreciation. Choosing one is a tough call, so let's break it down factor by factor. The first one is total units available. As you know, in order to get a BTO flat, you will have to ballot. So, if a popular project has limited units, the competition level to get it will be much higher. So, if we look at the total amount of units, Bishan BTO has about 530 units, while Mount Pleasant has 1,350 units roughly. In terms of flat types, both are offering 2-room flexi, 3-room and 4-room flats. So in terms of the amount of supply, Mount Pleasant is clearly the winner here because it offers more than double the number of units. Bishan launch is relatively small, which means that every applicant, especially if you are going for 3-room or 4-room flat, will face ultra-high competition. I do have a special note for single applicants. If we look at the Bishan project, there are only 130 units of 2-room flexi, and based on HDB rule, actually about 100 of them will be allocated for seniors. So if you do the math, deducting the amount of flat allocated for first-timer families, etc., first-timer singles will only be allocated about 20 units for this project. So definitely it will be a very tough competition if you are single applicants and you would like to apply for Bishan BTO. Okay, next up, let's compare about the distance to MRT station. In a central location, connectivity is everything. A shorter walk to the MRT station is a daily time saver you can't put a price on. So for Bishan BTO, the nearest MRT station is Bishan MRT, which serves both North-South Line and also Circle Line. The distance is about 600 meters according to Google Map, so it's not that far, but it's not that near either. But because the area is already matured, it doesn't feel that far. I think it's still a reasonable distance. For Mount Pleasant BTO, the nearest MRT station will be Mount Pleasant MRT, which serves the Thompson East Coast Line, and the distance is about 300 meters according to Google Map. You will be about 3 stops to Orchard and about 6 stops to Marina Bay. So the verdict on location, I would say Mount Pleasant takes the crown for sheer proximity to the station, making it a truly near MRT project. However, Bishan offers a powerful MRT interchange by serving 2 lines, which arguably more useful for island-wide travel today, depending on where you are working or where your kids' school are, etc. So both are great, but technically Mount Pleasant BTO is physically closer to the MRT station. Now let's talk about the entry price and potential appreciation. Both of these projects are expected to fall under a restricted scheme, so I think Bishan would most likely be a plus or even prime, but Mount Pleasant most likely will be prime simply because it's being broadcast all over the news, right? Which means the entry price for both projects will be kind of high. And I have discussed this on a separate video on what is the price estimate for both projects. So do check out that video after you watch this one. For Bishan BTO, in terms of resale value, I would say it does have a very high resale and also rental potential because it's just so rare and the area is surrounded by mature amenities. For Mount Pleasant BTO, I also think that this project has a high potential for resale and rental value, fueled by brand new town status and also MRT station proximity. However, there is a risk because Mount Pleasant BTO is basically facing 2 cemeteries. And another thing to note is Mount Pleasant BTO will have integrated rental blocks. So for me personally, I don't have any problem with that, but I'm just letting you know because I know like some people has concerns. So in summary, I would say Bishan BTO is a proven asset. It's safer in a way because it's a surefire, rock-solid investment. While Mount Pleasant BTO has the slight shadow of the cemetery and also public rental blocks, potentially hindering its final resale price, even though the location is fantastic. Now, let's look at the amenities. In terms of on-site facilities, Bishan BTO will only have a preschool and a kidney dialysis center, while Mount Pleasant BTO has more options. It will have a preschool, an eating house, a supermarket, several shops, and also residence network center. Well, this is understandable actually because Mount Pleasant BTO will be located in an area that is still developing, it's still being transformed. So no wonder that HDB would like to put more on-site facilities there to support the residents. In terms of amenities surrounding the area, for Bishan BTO, you have excellent connectivity and distance to Junction 8 Mall, you have library, and also if you like to jog or cycle, you can go to Bishan Ang Mo Kio Park, and all are within either a long walk or a short bus ride. Now for Mount Pleasant BTO, besides the on-site facilities that I have mentioned, it is also quite near to Toa Payoh. So if you need anything, you can just either take the MRT or take a bus. So amenities for Mount Pleasant BTO is also quite good in terms of the surrounding area. In terms of school options, actually both projects have quite a lot of school options, but Mount Pleasant BTO seems to be close to popular schools such as Raffles Girls School, Raffles Institution, CHIJ Primary and Secondary School, and also SGI International. So in summary, I would say Mount Pleasant BTO provides fantastic amenities within the precinct itself and is closer to top schools. Bishan offers the benefit of an established area, and it's great that it's near Junction 8 Mall, but the immediate on-site features are less comprehensive. While I'm doing my best to compare these two highly desirable BTO based on the available information, but you must know that when I made this video, the HDB sales launch hasn't started yet. There are several other factors that will only be revealed when HDB officially launch the project, and you must take them into consideration before you submit your application. The first one we don't know yet is the exact price range. We know they will be expensive, but the official price difference between a forum flat in Bishan versus Mount Pleasant could influence your decision, especially if you have limited budget and potential housing grants. The second factor we don't know yet is the estimated completion time. Will one project be ready much earlier than the other? Based on past BTO launches, the difference between waiting time among BTO projects can be very significant. Like some projects, 40 plus something months, whereas the rest is like less than 30 months. So it can be very different. A difference in waiting time can be the deciding factor for couples who are eagerly waiting to start their family. And then the third factor we have to consider is the actual classification and the percentage of subsidy clawback. While analysts widely expect Bishan to be plus or even prime and Mount Pleasant to be prime flat, the HDB will need to confirm this, and they will only announce the subsidy clawback later on. So for Plus and Prime, both have 10-year MOP, right? And the restrictions is pretty much similar. So I think the key difference would be the percentage of subsidy clawback for later on. This is important to know so that you are able to calculate your potential long-term financial gain. So what should you do? My suggestion would be do not rush your application on the first day. As you know, we can only apply for one town and then one flat type only. I would highly recommend monitor the HDB application rate daily after the launch has started. HDB updates these numbers every day, every few hours. Don't forget to subscribe, as typically I would provide like daily breakdown of what are the application rate. And then on the very last day of the application period, check the final application rates for your chosen flat type, for example 4-room or 3-room. And then if you are really open-minded between these two projects, then just apply to a project that has the lower application rate, whether it's Bishan BTO or Mount Pleasant BTO. This is your best chance to beat the crowd and secure a flat in one of these two highly desirable once-in-blue moon locations. If you want to know more about other BTO projects in the upcoming launch, or you want to know about the comparison between Keppel BTO and Mount Pleasant BTO, check out my other videos on this channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye! To get exclusive contents and support my work, click the join button to be part of the online family. Your support means a lot to keep us independent. Don't forget to join the membership, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye bye!